Whether you're in a relationship or looking to fall in love, don't you wish there was a manual to help you figure it all out? Dr. Love has created a collection of 12 ebooks that will help you navigate everything romance from first dates to marriage. Visit valentinislove.com to get the whole collection for just $49.99. You don't have to do this alone. Go to valentinislove.com and make this day the start of something that will last forever. Don't miss out. Go to valentinislove.com now.
This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is the one that everybody wants, me. Becky Lynch is going to WrestleMania. Claymore! Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
All right, everybody. It's time for part 2 of the mailbag here. We're going to get to those voicemails. And I got to say, to be fair, everyone's getting 3 minutes. I may knock it down to 2 in coming weeks with the volume of voicemails. And I think 2 minutes is fair. You know, you can really flesh out a lot in 2 minutes. You'd be surprised how much you could say. So for now, it's 3. And if anybody sent in voicemails that are beyond 3, I'm going to cut them off at 3, just in the interest of fairness. So here we go.
Hello, WWE Podcast World. This is DJ Kuzmo back at it again on your Mailbag show. Recorded to you live on a Wednesday morning, on a beautiful Wednesday morning. And let's get to your favorite show to come on every single week on the Mailbag. And I'm talking about the Veer Mahaan Report. Now, the Veer Mahaan Report took place last night on NXT. We did not get a live appearance of the Indishir. We did not get a live appearance of my guy, Veer Mahaan, Sangha, and the modern-day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal. But we did get a pre-recorded promo from these guys as they were reflected on their match that they had last week against the Creed Brothers, as they absolutely annihilated, destroyed the Creed Brothers in Julius and Brutus Creed, and now they are on to their next step as none other than Jinder Mahal says they are up to phase 2. They're going to phase 2, and that is going to those NXT tag team titles. And of course, the day will come where every member of the Indishir will all be draped in gold. I'm talking about Jinder Mahal as the NXT champion, and of course my guy Veer Mahaan and Sangha as the NXT tag team champions. Now I'm now loving the fact, and I will continue to love the fact, that Jinder Mahal is now being inserted into this group, giving them a direction and getting the respect that they deserve, and of course getting the notice of the NXT Tag Team Division as they keep their eye on the prize and their focus towards those championships. So, this is your boy DJ Kuzmo. I'm keeping it brief here. I hope you all have a blessed day, a blessed week. Be kind to one another. And of course, most importantly, peace, love, and stay UC.
All right. Well, DJ Kuzmo may have been your very shortest voicemail we've ever gotten. And let's jump into it. So, you went right to it. You went right to the Veer Mahaan report. Thank you for that. I have to say, by the week, I'm getting more and more interested and curious about exactly where the WWE NXT is going to ultimately end the storyline with the Indishir and the Creed brothers. I'm with you. I do like the addition of Veer Mahaan. As the veteran of the group, the most recognizable name of the group, he fits in perfectly. I think he's a great addition. I'm with you. I know that you said that they didn't appear this week. Excuse me. But that, at least they had a pre-recorded message, okay? That it wasn't a complete absence. And I have high hopes for this group. And what I mean by that is maybe the NXT tag titles, but more likely, or at least in my mind, the more successful step would be coming up to the main roster. Okay. I know that in NXT, even if they become successful, eventually it's a game where you become at a level of certain success, singles or a tag team, you eventually should make the main roster where the real success will lie ahead for you. And that's what I think is going to happen. If I'm going to make a prediction, I think they're a tag team that would fit in very nicely to debut the night after WrestleMania. How many returns or call-ups do you see the night after WrestleMania, the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, or the Friday Night Raw after WrestleMania. So I think they're slated, in my mind, to refresh the tag division on the quote-unquote main roster right after WrestleMania. That's my hope for them. So thank you, DJ. Hope all is well with you, brother. Let's get to our next one.
Hello, WWE Podcast. This is Sharon from Israel. I'm returning to one more message. I have become a father to a little baby, so I wasn't able to do much. So it took a lot of my time. And now, after 1 month, I came back to a little bit of a routine. So now I came back to give you messages. Anyway, so lots of things in wrestling world. Of course, I want to talk about the story of Alpha Academy. No, of course, about Sami and Cody and Roman and all this threesome. I've got to say that it really feels like the WWE tries to take the relationship between Sami and Roman and do an artificial getting of Cody Rhodes into it. I mean, imagine like you married to your wife like for, I don't know, 1 year, and then some great for saying to you, you have to break up with your wife and like be married to someone else with no other explanation. So this is what I feel like about Sami. I feel that maybe Sami will lose an Elimination Chamber, Cody will lose at WrestleMania, and Sami will win at Money in the Bank, because I think it's the most good way that Sami can win Roman, because Sami is much more of a weak man than Roman, and if you think about it, it really will look weird that after all those years of being so much strong, Roman will lose to Sami in a normal match. So this is one thing, maybe Sami will do it in Money in the Bank. Second thing, what we need to remember, that the end of the bloodline won't be Sami against Roman, it will be Roman against Jay. Some other podcasts say that it's a story of the abuse of Jay by Roman. If you remember, the whole story started a few years ago when Roman attacked Jay and did the whole charade, and then the bloodline begins. So the end of the story should be Roman against Jay. So this is another thing. And okay, so as for Uncle Audi, I gotta say that for 1 month, because I'm so terrified for my child, I thought that my child is Uncle Audi, but now I understand that he is not. So Uncle Audi, still I think Bo Dallas. Bye, Matt. Have a good one.
Sharon, I am impressed. You kept that at exactly 3 minutes. I don't know how you did that, but maybe you hit a stopwatch or something before you started. So, and guys, I'm not trying to come down on everybody I'm talking down to everybody, but it's going to get crazy the deeper we get into WrestleMania season. And it's just, right now it's 3 minutes. As I said, it could be 2 as I get closer to Mania, just so that we get more voices on the show. It's a faster show. Sometimes people some people don't like the long form audio, but all right. Well, anyway, Sharon, first of all, congratulations on the little baby being born. I don't think you mentioned if it's boy or girl, but either way, congratulations. Sounds like all is well, and it is completely inexcusable for you to miss the podcast for any reason. So that doesn't excuse you. That doesn't forgive you for missing the show. All right. That's strike one. Secondly, so Sami winning at Money in the Bank. While you were talking, I did a little digging, and I was thinking to myself, when is Money in the Bank? When is it taking place this year? Because it's oftentimes in May. I mean, I'm fairly sure that it has traditionally been in May up until the last year or so. And this year, Money in the Bank is taking place July 1st, 2023 in London, England in the O2 Arena. That is a massive arena. Okay? Huge. And it's not just a large in size arena. It is also a legendary arena. It is one of the most famous arenas in the world. So your analysis may not be too far off. Add that on top of the fact that Roman's 1,000th day would have commenced. You would have already had it. Now, the argument against it is, can they keep Sami and Roman that hot until July? I mean, it's February. That's, 5 months until that show? It's possible. I don't know if it's likely, but if they take a break from it and come back to it, it might be. But this is the time to strike in my mind. I wouldn't, if I was WWE, I wouldn't just hope that it's hot at that point. I wouldn't just assume that it's going to be. In cases as rare as Sami, when you get somebody as hot as Sami, you don't wait. You strike while it's hot. But if they take your advice and they go that road, they are taking a risk. The argument against it is, though, number one, I don't think they can keep it that hot. I don't think they can, but I'm not rooting against it. I think that's a good idea. But number two is SummerSlam would be the next pay-per-view after that. And if you're going to take the belt off of Roman, SummerSlam is a bigger event. As they are now trying to sell it and market it, SummerSlam is now the WrestleMania of the summer. So, I mean, I don't dislike it. You get past 1,000 days. It's in the O2 Arena in London. It's a big event. They're trying to build Money in the Bank even bigger than it already has been, clearly. So I don't dislike it. Lastly, your comment about Roman against Jay and how you did I hear you correctly? You listen to some other podcast. All right, that's strike two. Okay. Nobody that listens to this show is allowed to listen to anything else. Okay, so for you to openly admit that, I mean that's pretty jarring. Okay, because maybe we should press charges. I don't know what you guys think. How dare anybody listen to any other podcast other than this one? We are the only podcast that exists. All right, I'm feeling spicy tonight, guys. I don't know what it is, but hey. In all seriousness, though, Sharon, I listen to many other wrestling podcasts as well. We know the big ones. I like a lot of the big ones. And I don't know specifically what podcast you got that from, but that's irrelevant. It's the plot, the storyline that you've proposed. Is it Roman against Jay? Is that going to be the ultimate? I mean, maybe. But here's the thing. If you're saying the ultimate end to this story is Roman versus Jay, and the story that's being told is the abuse of Jay and how Jay has Stockholm syndrome, essentially, I don't hate it. But what I think is going to happen at Chamber is Jay's going to turn on Sami, and we're going to get the tag team match that we all thought was going to happen. Then it's just going to be Cody Rhodes and Roman at Mania, blah, blah, blah. And if Jay turns on Sami and aligns with Roman, how do you get back to Roman and Jay? Like, he's already shown his allegiance. So people, I think, when they see Jay, are going to pop. And then I think what's going to happen at Chamber is you're going to see people lose their minds for Jay. Just as you think he's going to lay out Roman, he lays out Sami. And wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Thanks for coming. Good night, the lights. Sami Zayn is pinned. And the boos rain down. Now Cody Rhodes may come out, and that's another kind of early prediction. So that I think is all going to play out at Chamber, with Jay and his alliance being his true colors being shown. But then I think they're going to try to counter and feel that it's a opportunity for Cody Rhodes, as Sami's being beaten down, to come out and make the save. And Cody Rhodes, they hope, will get cheered and continuing his momentum. So I think that's likely is that, right? Like you turn Jay back heel, you continue to solidify Roman as a heel, You get maximum heel heat on both guys. Kevin Owens even comes out, tries to make the save. He gets beat down. Kevin Owens is laying down. Sami Zayn's being beat down. Roman's standing tall. And then just as Roman's about to snap Sami Zayn's neck, out comes Cody Rhodes to make the save. So I think that's probably what's going to happen. Probably no Rock, probably no Austin. All right. So thank you so much, Sharon. I appreciate it. And again, congratulations. All right, let's keep going.
Oh, hey man, it's Bevan here again. Hope you're well. Just finished watching Raw, and I must say I enjoyed the promo between Paul Heyman. Man, that guy's good. And Cody Rhodes. But yeah, I enjoyed it, but it'll be interesting to see where they take it next. My actual query I had, or what I noticed, was the steel cage match between Bayley and Becky. Now, I found it interesting because I'm pretty sure, I don't really have time to go back and watch it again, but I'm pretty sure Becky tried to climb out of the cage first, which I find odd because she requested the match with Bayley. She forced her into the match because she obviously wanted to get a piece of Bayley. So I find the person who's wanting to get the piece of the other person then suddenly trying to escape the steel cage first. I find that odd. And not really well thought out. I thought Bayley would be the one who would be trying to escape because she didn't want the match. So yeah, but this is all based on the fact that I think Becky tried to escape the cage first. So if I'm wrong there, then my whole question or point I'm trying to make is all null and void. So anyway, cool. Chat soon. See ya. Bye.
Hey, Bevan. Well, you're 2 for 2. Good to hear from you again. So this is one of the downsides, and there's many of them, of allowing escape of the cage to be a method of victory. It makes no sense. This is one of the downsides. And there's many more, as I said, but one of them happens to be the babyface trying to escape at all to win, because it makes them look cowardice. Especially if it's in the beginning of the match, right? Especially then. And again, you add the fact that a steel cage match, which is always promoted as nobody can get in, nobody can get out. It's an end all stipulate, or not an end all be all, because that's like Hell in a Cell or something extreme, but it's a stipulation that could essentially end a program, right? It could be the blow off of a program. And that is simply never the case. And it's also billed as, just a brutal match. But is it really? Is a steel cage match brutal when you can win by running away? What? It's so stupid. You should be, if you go outside the ring, I mean, if this was, me booking the territory, as they say, I would forever ban escape of the cage, whether especially through the door. My God, the door makes it exponentially worse. But I would make all of that banned. Not only would it not be a method of victory, it would not be allowed. And in fact, if it was allowed, you would forfeit the match. Because the match is designed, the steel cage by design is supposed to keep competitors inside. So why, in a match that's supposed to be designed to keep two women, 2 men in a cage, are you allowing the very structure that's supposed to keep the competitors in? You're allowing a method of victory to completely contradict the purpose of that structure. How does that make sense? And then, of course, as you said, Bevan, add in the component that the babyface looks like a total, wussy, and substitute the W for a P there. When they do that, especially at the beginning of the match. Oh, yeah. All right, before I go down the rabbit hole, Bevan, you got me all ramped up. Let's get to our next voicemail.
Hey, Matt. I'd like to talk to that fat belly, no 2 fat hands, and walks like a penguin. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Alex, the French guy. I want a title opportunity at your European Championship in a real square circle and not some TV or video game. You're the biggest dumbskull in Patreon WWE podcast. Acknowledge your heel of the WWE podcast, Mr. Dennis McGinley, or you won't make it anywhere, even WrestleMania 39, you dumbskulls.
All right, well, I'm not going to referee this matchup, guys. You guys need to, y'all need to find a wrestling ring and keep me out of it. All right. I mean, I would prefer that you guys do this virtually if you both got WWE 2K22 or when 2K23 comes out. I think that's a very smart way to handle this. Okay. If you guys are going to go in a ring, first of all, I think the logistics of that are a little bit difficult given that Alex is, across the pond, as they say. And Dennis, you are, I imagine, somewhere in America. So unless somebody's spending an exorbitant amount of money to fly, to set up a ring, find someone to condone this, and then fly back. I would imagine at this point it's probably going to take place in both of your imaginations. However, it is fun to think about, and I would really advise to do this in a virtual ring. Okay, it costs nobody any money, and it's much safer. All right. All right, let's go to our next voicemail.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the gardener, Michael Gross. I want to apologize to everybody for my first show solo not being as great or as timely. I know I had big shoes to fill with Memphis Mark, taking care of his business. Unfortunately, I do run 3 restaurants, so I'm always very, very busy and always pulled in different directions. I promise you a better product later. Now on to something more important and very serious. Lanny Poffo has passed away. And it quietly happened last week, I guess on the 2nd. And this did not make huge news, and it's shocking that I'm finding out about this right now. Apparently, all it's known is that he had moved to Ecuador for a while. I believe that's where they said he was living, and nobody knows the cause. I'm just kind of really shocked because most of you know Lanny Poffo as Leaping Lanny Poffo or the Genius, who was the sidekick of Mr. Perfect, and the younger brother of Randy Macho Man Savage. His influences were more than what he did in the WWE ring. He actually worked for his father's promotion for a long time. And I could go off about that. Maybe I will on one of my new shows, WrestleMania. I promise you better recordings in the future, my folks. Like I said, I've got take your work headaches and multiply it by 3, and that's my life. And while I made a promise and a commitment to Memphis Mark, I also make a promise and a commitment to all of you out there that I will be serving you up a better product. You can reach me at 144Captain on Twitter. I want my show WrestleMania to be about the things that people aren't talking about. So if you've got a topic, I'd like you to bounce it off me, and I'll credit you, and we'll talk about it even more. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
All righty. Michael Gross, the gardener. Good to hear from you, man. I really hope all is going well with you, and I do appreciate, while it was abbreviated and any effort for this podcast, I appreciate from all of our co-hosts. I mean, that goes up and down the line, whether you do an abbreviated show or a full-fledged show. Look, we all have lives that are, most of us, that are just, as you said, pulled in 14 directions, right? Like in your case, running, restaurants, I can't imagine the, here and there and putting out fires and dealing with staff. For me and others, it's being a dad and just working the 8 to 4 or the 7 to 3 or 9 to 5, and you're just trying to make, ends meet, and you're trying to like do things that you love, like this or whatever you like to do. And, or, maybe you're a stay-at-home mom. I actually have some stay-at-home moms that listen to this show. While I think it's like 80 some percent of the, the listeners are men. I did look at the stat. The fact is, everybody is busy as hell. We all are. And, my point is, I appreciate your efforts, Mr. Gross. I appreciate everyone's efforts, from the co-hosts to even to you guys calling in, right? Like, I'm sure there are weeks you're like, oh crap, I forgot, because time gets away from you, or you're just simply too tired, or you got more important things going on. So yeah, no worries. And we're all looking forward to WrestleMania. I like the concept too. It's a topic, or it's a show about the topics most people aren't talking about. So in other words, you probably won't center your focus around Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns on a weekly basis, right? Like we do. I mean, almost to nauseum. So I like that. You're going to be focusing on things that most people don't talk about. And what that could do is get people talking about it. Get people to think differently. Get people thinking in a different direction or looking at things differently in wrestling or going, not always going with the mainstream. That is a cool thing. So, all right, Michael, thank you so much. Looking forward to all the contributions to come and appreciate all the past ones. Let's get to the next one. Whether you're in a relationship or looking to fall in love, don't you wish there was a manual to help you figure it all out? Dr. Love has created a collection of 12 ebooks that will help you navigate everything romance from first dates to marriage. Visit ValentineIsLove.com to get the whole collection for just $49.99. You don't have to do this alone. Go to ValentineIsLove.com and make this day the start of something that will last forever. Don't miss out. Go to ValentineIsLove.com now.
Hey man, it's Justin from Maryland. Hope all is well with everyone. Just had a couple of thoughts and questions that I have for this week. So first is Rhea Ripley in the Judgment Day. So the question is, I think we can all agree that Rhea will probably win the SmackDown Women's Championship. So does that mean that the Judgment Day will also go to SmackDown? Because it's just like, are they, if she wins, will she just leave? Or, where does that leave them? Because I feel like they've done a lot on Raw. So it might be best that they go to SmackDown, have some new challengers and stuff. But I just want to know what you thought about where you see the Judgment Day after WrestleMania. Do they just split with Rhea, or do they follow Rhea? Or maybe Dominic just goes to SmackDown and then Finn and Damian Priest stay on Raw. Next is Theory and Cena. So that's the apparent rumor match for WrestleMania. I don't think it needs the title, because I feel like if the title's on the line, I feel like it automatically means that Theory's going to win. So I've been seeing some reports that maybe Johnny Gargano might win, or I feel like that's the only option. I don't think Bronson Reed needs it right now. He just came back. So just wanted your early prediction on the U.S. title Elimination Chamber. I don't really have a winner right now, but I was just thinking that I don't think Theory will win, because I don't think him and Cena need a title, but also he just won the belt, and they keep changing the title, the champions of the U.S. Championship too fast for me. So I just wanted your thoughts on that. Next, we have a fatal four-way to determine the next challenger for Gunther. I think it's Karrion Kross, Madcap Moss, Legado, and someone else. But I think Karrion Kross will win. I think that would be a good match. They had a good interaction at the Royal Rumble. Karrion Kross definitely can go with anyone in the ring. So I just wanted your thoughts on do you see Gunther holding the Intercontinental title until WrestleMania, or do you think he'll drop it before then? Finally, the SmackDown the SmackDown tag titles. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the title match on SmackDown. I thought we all agreed that Jey Uso wasn't going to show up, but if he doesn't, then will they have Solo take his place, or maybe they postpone the match? But I think we'll probably see Jey on SmackDown. I think Usos will win, but they're definitely going to continue that story of him and Roman.
All right, Justin, first of all, yes, thank you, and all is well. Hope all is well with you too. Okay, let's go through this. Do I think Jey Uso is going to be there? No, I don't. I actually don't think he will be. I'm kind of on the other side of your thoughts, and I don't feel super strong, but I wouldn't put Jey on any TV show until Chamber. It builds his return. It makes you wonder what he's going to do. Maybe people still haven't heard from him, or they get some cryptic text, and Roman is losing his mind of where's Jey? Where's Jey? He's harassing Jimmy. Where's Jey? And we get clues as to what could happen or what he's doing. But I don't think they should show him until Chamber because they left him in a main event storyline. He should return in a main event storyline. I know they're the tag team champions, but you could have Solo Sikoa fill in. I don't think they'll postpone the match, because I think if you postpone the match, that means that Jay has to compete at Chamber, and I don't think he's going to compete at Chamber. I think what he's going to do is not show up until the main event with Sami, as I've laid out earlier, and then screw over Sami. Even though he'll get a big pop, people lose their minds, and then he'll turn on Sami. That's what I think, costing him the championship. And there we go with the tag team championship match between Kevin Owens and the Usos and Sami. Okay. Let's see. Theory versus John Cena. Yeah, that's been rumored for like 6 months now, longer. And on one side, I see what you're saying with, if this match happens, it doesn't need the title. Because John Cena with the U.S. title, at this stage, it isn't going to happen. It's like The Rock challenging for a championship or Stone Cold challenging for a championship. If the belt's involved, 99% chance that legend is not going to win. And they don't need to win. But it kind of just really tips the outcome of, that they aren't winning, right? Like it automatically almost. It's nearly an automatic of who's going to win. And I don't like that. So I'd agree on that front. However, John Cena and the U.S. title are synonymous. John Cena will forever be remembered for the open challenge that allowed superstars to get an opportunity. Did I just say superstars? Wrestlers. Oh boy, they almost got me there. To get an opportunity to shine against John Cena. The open challenge was a really a bright spot on Monday Night Raw. I remember it very well. It's where Kevin Owens debuted. I believe he faced Roman Reigns or John Cena at the Elimination Chamber in 2016. Maybe I'm botching that. But AJ Styles, I mean, there has been many men that have come in and challenged John Cena for the U.S. title in that open challenge. It was a fun time, and it really elevated the belt at a time that it needed it. But so John Cena and Theory, I think the title is not the worst option in this. Now, Theory should win, and it also elevates Theory to have a title match against a big time guy like John Cena. But I agree that the U.S. title has been it's been pushed around too quickly. I'm with you on that. So that's why I'd keep it on Theory. Make it a title match with John Cena, no problem. It gives Theory, there's more for Theory to gain out of that than lose. Rhea Ripley, this is a tough question. Do I think she'll go to SmackDown with the rest of Judgment Day? Yes, I do. Because I think following WrestleMania, there'll be a draft. And I also think that since WWE doesn't give a damn about the draft rules, and they haven't for a long time, that she'll still show up on Raw with the SmackDown Women's Championship until there's a draft. I mean, they just don't care about their own draft rules. So, yeah, she'll probably just hot shot both shows until the Judgment Day is officially drafted to SmackDown. Gunther versus Karrion Kross. I don't hate that. I like it. The problem is, will the masses like it? What I mean by that, it's heel versus heel. Yeah, that's problematic. Okay, and also Gunther's doing such a great job. I don't think the question is, does he hold it till Mania? Does he drop it at Mania? I think the question is, how long does he keep it after WrestleMania? I would have Gunther go on an absolute tear. He is right now, but I would not stop the momentum. Why have him drop? Who's better to hold it right now? Their answer is nobody. Gunther has really made a name for himself. Even if you had no idea who he was before. The match with Sheamus, the match of the year, maybe the match of the best 5 years. I mean, I've heard people overreact to that match with Sheamus, but it was a hell of a match. I'd recommend anyone go watch that with Gunther and Sheamus. But I think that Gunther is the man to keep holding it. Absolutely. I wouldn't have him drop it. I don't actually, if I was creative, I wouldn't even be thinking about when he's going to drop it because I have no idea. That's what I would think. I'd go, you know what? I don't know. Right now, there's no need to even think about that. So, all right. Thanks, Justin. Let's get to our next one.
Hey, it's Kyle from Baltimore. So, I wanted to talk about this, Cody Rhodes again. I may be telling us forever. Feel like I'm be like the broken record talking about Cody Rhodes, but I bring him up because I think Cody and Bianca kind of wanted the same to me, where people badly wanted Bianca Belair as the champion, right? All throughout 2021, pretty much when she came up to the main roster. Even I wanted her to be a champion, but the fact, and now people want Cody Rhodes as champion. I personally don't, but I just think that once he's champion, right? Let's say he wins at WrestleMania, which isn't a guarantee. Reigns could have retained, which, whatever. Anyway, if he does win at WrestleMania, what is the chances for him to get rejected like Bianca Belair is? As a character perspective, he's not all that interesting. And I think why people like him so much is he came from AEW. People think he's a top star. I still view him as Stardust. Still view him as mid-Carter. So that's how I personally feel about him. And they're going to run into a real issue or problem because the Sami Zayn stuff, I don't think that's not going to go away anytime soon with, I don't think anyone's going to be all that excited for a tag team match. They probably will, but who knows? Anyway, point is that, well, are they going to run a risk of having Cody Rhodes similar to Bianca Belair? Is that a risk that they're willing to take, and is that a smart move to do? But that's it. They short call. Bye.
Hey, Kyle, the short answer, yeah. That seems to be a risk that they're willing to take, and they're doing their calculations behind the scenes and saying, yep. How do I know this? Well, Cody Rhodes, and I think I talked about this on the mailbag last night, the moment he got to WWE, the second he got there, number one, he debuted at WrestleMania. He won at WrestleMania. The very next night says he wants to be champion. Right? And then continues to beat Seth and beat Seth 3 times in a row, was going for a fourth, and they obviously couldn't have that because of the injury. But Seth Rollins lost 3 times in a row to Cody. Cody has been undefeated. Debuted at Mania. Declared that he's after the championship. Comes back after the injury. Wins the Royal Rumble at number 30, which I still think is a bad idea, but he won the Rumble at number 30. And then he's main eventing with Roman at WrestleMania this year. Like, I mean, they have shot him to the moon immediately. I mean, it's a calculated risk. It is. And so far the fans have gone along with what they've been fed with Cody Rhodes. And I just, to me, it is see-through, it is transparent, it's sometimes stomach churning, but he's a heck of a talent. But am I just supposed to just automatically, just without questioning it, just accept blindly that Cody's suddenly a main eventer out of nowhere? Based on what precedent? His daddy? That he was here before? He was a mid-card guy in AEW? None of that qualifies, for me, none of that qualifies Cody for me to be main event material. That's something earned over time. And the last thing we knew, he was Stardust. And sure, the AEW portion of his wrestling life was important, and people saw him as a pillar of AEW. He comes back to WWE, and all of a sudden he wears a suit, dyes his hair, and we're just like, oh, Cody, yeah, bowing at the altar of Cody as if he's this, second return of Andre the Giant. Like, what? Are you kidding me? I don't understand it. But clearly, most people do, because you hear the reactions. But it's a risk, as you said, they're willing to take. Could it happen with Bianca Belair, like Bianca Belair? Well, Bianca Belair has, for the most part, been successful as a babyface. For the most part. She's had some real lulls in her career. For the most part, she's been successful. I think she's going to lose it at Mania. I think she won it last year. Well, I don't think she did. I know she won it at last year's WrestleMania, but I think she'll drop it at this year's. To who? I don't know. Because that was supposed to be Rhea Ripley, and now it's not. So, you know what I think they could do? And this is just an off-the-wall thought. What if they did the same thing with the women's championships that they did with the Universal and WWE, and they kind of fuse them together, so to speak, and we have Rhea as the undisputed women's champion? Just a thought. I don't know. Somehow, if that happens, I'm all for it. Rhea Ripley as a heel champion, running the roost, as they say. I would love it. But that's not your question. Yes, it's a calculated risk, but clearly one they're willing to take. And they have been promoting Cody Rhodes down your throat and up your backside for weeks and weeks now. Really, since the Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve edition of Monday Night Raw, they have shoved him down your throat with video package after video package after video package. And I'm over it. And again, it's not that I'm over it because, I just have no attention span. I didn't like him from the beginning. As a heel, now we've got a whole lot more to talk about. Cody Rhodes as a heel would be so much fun. So much fun. But this narrative that he comes back from AEW from never being a main eventer ever in his life ever to just suddenly being a main eventer here, that kind of speaks to the lack of depth here for main event stars, doesn't it? That's more of a referendum on WWE than it is of Cody Rhodes earning himself a main event spot at WrestleMania. Just saying. All right, let's get to the final voicemail, guys. Wrap it up.
Alex, the French guy here, your current European champion. I just wanted to address Dennis McGinley. You posted on the Discord chat that you were going to post a voicemail or a message or some sort of. I didn't hear from you. And I'm only guessing one thing. It is that you are the one to be scared to challenge the European champion, myself, the French guy, just as everybody on this show. WrestleMania is coming. If you want to make history, grab what's in between your legs, what's in between your heart, and stand up in front of the French guy if you want to make history. I don't speak about taking the European champion, but taking a loss at WrestleMania. That is history that you're going to make. Another victim will be marked in the calendar of Alex, the French guy. Just about wrestling stuff, I'm sorry, man. Cody Rhodes is starting to grow on me. I definitely understand the appeal of, coming at number 30. It's not a good face thing to do, But Cody Rhodes is starting, like the talent, the history. I understand that it's not a face material or everything, but the talent in itself and the character is everybody. It is something that I really like. I remember watching WWE when he was in dashing Cody Rhodes and everything. I remember I liking the talents of Cody Rhodes. So yeah, definitely liking the guy. And I understand, let's face it, everybody is not going to win at WrestleMania. That is straight facts. It's okay, alright, he has the opportunity and everything. I don't want him to win, but he's not going to win at WrestleMania. That's straight facts. And I think that's it for me this week. There's not so much going on. We are just waiting for WrestleMania to come. Sami Zayn's story is pretty much finished with the Elimination Chamber. The match is okay. It's just going to be a beatdown or something. And that's it for me. Remember, make history at WrestleMania against the European champion, the French guy.
All right, Alex. Yeah, you and Dennis need to finish this rivalry. All right. But beyond that, I got to say, all right, let's get into the wrestling part of this. The Cody thing, again, I it's all personal preference. Everything in wrestling is personal preference. It's all what's your flavor of ice cream. It's all. And if I don't like vanilla, you're not going to ever convince me to like vanilla. If you don't like chocolate, I'm never going to convince you to like chocolate. It's not a choice. And when you have to try to like something, that's how you know you just don't like it. Why are you wasting your time? So that said, I mean, we can debate all day about what's great and what's not about Cody. The fact is that even if we debate for 4 hours, it's not going to change your opinion about Cody. It's not going to change my opinion about Cody. That goes for everybody, typically about everything when it comes to wrestling specifically. That said, I mean, you're coming to the realization that Cody is not going to win at WrestleMania, and I don't know how confident I am in that. I mean, there's a case to be made for Cody to win that. I think there's a stronger case for him not to. But time will tell, and it's sad to say, as you mentioned, that the Sami Zayn Roman Reigns storyline comes to an end at Chamber. If that's true, it's a sad state of affairs that 7 months led to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, ultimately just to be the most unpredictable outcome ever in the match that Roman has zero chance of losing that, right? Like, I mean, you build this guy who's overachieved. He's hotter than hot right now, and it's sad that we all know the outcome without even blinking an eye. Nobody's picking Sami Zayn to win, and they shouldn't. And it's kind of sad, that's all. But the Cody thing, yeah, look, again, I know why you like him. Part of me wants to, but then, like the true essence of myself looks at Cody and goes, like, feels phony. I don't know. Maybe phony's the wrong word, but I just sense when somebody's trying to pull at my emotional strings to manipulate me, I immediately push back. Immediately. When I feel like I'm being taken on a ride, when I know exactly what they're trying to do, instead of it feeling just kind of organic and feeling it just happened, I immediately go, yeah, I'm out. I'm done. Goodbye. I don't know. It's just me being cynical. I just, that's what it is. I don't have any other way to explain it. But look, if you like them, great. You're on a high right now. You're enjoying yourself like most fans are, and I totally understand. I'm in the minority here. I am, and that's fine. No problem with that. But thank you, Alex, for your contributions. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you all the emailers from our part 1, part 2 here with the voicemail. And I'll be back Sunday with your weekend review. I'm trying to get some new voices on the show and some old ones as well as we continue to chug through WrestleMania season and have that pit stop at Chamber and then get to the ultimate prize of WrestleMania. So, everybody, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to go VIP on our website. It's only $3 for the entire month ad-free with all of our stuff, as well as Apple Podcasts, $3 a month. Click that ad-free button right on Apple Podcasts, right in the feed. You see it. And if you do the yearly option, you get 2 months totally free. So that's also an option. Or Patreon, patreon.com/WWE podcast. Thanks everyone for listening. I'll be back Sunday. Until then, take care. Whether you're in a relationship or looking to fall in love, don't you wish there was a manual to help you figure it all out? Dr. Love has created a collection of 12 ebooks that will help you navigate everything romance from first dates to marriage. Visit ValentineIsLove.com to get the whole collection for just $49.99. You don't have to do this alone. Go to ValentineIsLove.com and make this day the start of something that will last forever. Don't miss out. Go to ValentineIsLove.com now.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to Patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.